Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories dicked around, we're ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. It's episode 74.
Woohoo!
That's a even number.
74.
You are losing touch.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
hard.
It was weak.
I feel like I've been wandering from room to room. Like, it's hard to get my enthusiasm up for the numbers these days.
It's 37
Same
times 2, so it's 2 primes, the product of 2 primes.
You know,
Like,
I
2
just...
is a lame prime. Like, 2 is like a cheat
2
prime.
is the best prime.
It's a cheat prime.
What do you mean? It's the first one. It's the only one that gets to be
No,
even by virtue of being first.
Well, 0 is also a prime.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The definition of prime numbers excludes... Well, 0, first of all... Yeah, no. 0 is not a prime.
I think we could settle this pretty easily.
I don't care.
Pedro, Sarah, you can't raise your hands because it's a podcast, but say aloud if you've seen the film called Prime.
I have.
Primer?
Prime.
I've seen Prime.
Have
I
you?
don't think I've seen prime.
Then Sarah wins.
Is that the time travel one?
No, it's
not fair.
It's a mediocre
That's
romantic comedy that I really enjoy a lot. That stars Uma Thurman and Meryl Streep, with Meryl Streep playing Uma Thurman's therapist, who also turns out to be Uma Thurman's boyfriend's mom.
Huh. That is prime comedy.
It's honestly, that's great. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it.
So I think Sarah knows best about what number's really prime.
Yeah, because 0's got factors.
All right,
I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
And we're the Immortals. As you can tell from our story thus far, we are all hanging out in the old god's realm, trying to stop Bethany, trying to...
Are we
figure out
really
what's going on.
trying? We just seem to wander around.
I didn't go anywhere.
I'm trying.
I didn't really try at all, to be honest.
Honestly, I kept finding the same rooms we've been looking for like months. There's like nobody here, guys.
There really is true.
We're just hanging out in the room with the grass.
I'm
Except for
in the wrong
Roland
place.
if you open the right door.
Yeah. Why didn't you ask him for help?
He's busy.
That's fair.
All things serve the beam, Austin.
I know this. So,
Tower.
you know, every
I
week...
walked into a room that was just butts. Just butts. Just a plain of butts as far as the eye could see.
I heard giggling echo for like a couple of hours. Was that you?
Yeah, it was just butts, guys. It was just butts.
It was just your laughter was echoing through the hallway.
They didn't do
Just
anything.
little-
They were just squishy butts. They were all different, but they were butts.
I mean, every week we review one of the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. We used to be assigned a random number, then we kind of killed the guy who assigned it to us. In fact, we were so bored this week, so we think we pretty much have walked the entire realm from what we were able to get to, at least. We kind of just did 2 weeks worth, so we're actually going to record 2 episodes back-to-back. Didn't know what I thought before. This is going to take us way shorter to finish the curse.
Yeah.
So this is pretty great. So what we're going to do for this episode is all from the number 466, which the film is The Fireman's Ball.
The album is Group Sex by Circle Jerks.
Sorry, that was ridiculous.
No,
title.
it's made me giggle all week.
The food is Telline de Camargue.
The song is Wondrous Stories by Yes.
The children's book is The Family from One End Street by Eve Garnett.
And I'm glad we're transitioning from the children's book to the TV show, which is Red Shoe Diaries. And then our next episode should probably come out next week, I imagine. We'll be doing the number 154, because that's what Pedro kept on saying is a good number.
It is a good number.
Sure. And that movie will be Mrs. Miniver.
The album is Happy Trails by Quicksilver Messenger Service.
Oh, the food's pea shoot.
The song is Don't Gimme No Lip Child by Dave Barry.
Great song title.
The children's book is Madlenka by Peter Sis.
And the TV show is McCloud. So, yeah. I feel like we always jinx ourselves when we say this stuff at the beginning, but I think we're fine.
Totally fine.
I mean, we're all here. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Even Lee's closer than usual to us. She just wants to stick on her microphone.
Well, it's a good microphone.
Yep.
So, yeah.
You know.
Sure.
It's all good. We're all having a grand old party here. We're having a ball.
I like balls.
The fireman's ball.
Fuck you.
Podívej! Podívej! Já jsem to viděl. Ty toho moc víš.
Hele, nelži mi.
Ty toho moc víš.
Václav, nelži mi, tam toho nebyla.
Ale já tak ne.
Podívej si, ten žebřík stojí sám.
Nejtěle, když můžeš spadnout.
Nespadne. Podívej se, tak já ti už nevěřím, že jsi tady pořád u toho byl. Ty jsi tady u toho nebyl, pač nohu měl tady takhle.
Jo.
Takhle jsi měl. Já to viděl.
Co mě
Nevíš?
budeš?
Já jsem to viděl.
A co mě
Sakra jsem to viděl. Tak viděl lži.
Tam si sněl hýdat ta henge.
The Fireman's Ball is a Czech comedy directed by Milos Forman, who would come to America and make One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus.
Wait, what's his name?
Milos Forman?
Milosh.
Milos?
Milosh.
You've seen Jane the Version. You should know.
It's Milosh.
Milos.
Continue.
We're doing well. And it is this farce of a film where you have the old guard of firemen who are putting on what seems like their yearly ball. They're trying to honor someone who is retiring, who doesn't know he has cancer. And you just kind of watch them be really dumb.
Stupid.
They're designed to protect the people, and just from the watching them try to put on a very simple festivities, they have pretty much all of their raffle stolen. People are falling off ladders. Fires are being started. The beauty pageant is a complete mess. Another fire is going on, and they can't get the fire truck out of the snow. It's ridiculous. It's silly.
It's a farce.
It's a farce. But the question is, with all farces, is that did you find it believable within its own world, and did you find it funny? I want to start with Adam.
I did not really find it funny, but I can see why someone would. I really only kind of understood this after I looked up the movie and like what it was about, and like what the allegory was, which was communism. It just didn't really land for me. That allegory. So that kind of lessened my enjoyment of it, but it was. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't have a really strong reaction to it.
I felt like I was watching something that, it was an allegory for a culture and a time that is not my own, and therefore it was hard for me to pin down who was supposed to be who and what if anything, the biting social commentary was. It was interesting because I looked a lot of it up, and I couldn't find anything that, like, laid out, like, this is what this is and this is what this is. It was more about just sort of the, like, general incompetence of the ruling class / the state in keeping people safe and making sound decisions. And that was what... I mean, this movie got kicked out of Czechoslovakia, right? And it was, like, immediately banned.
Once they were part of the Soviet Union. Right. So once they were annexed, the Soviet Union was like, nope, not this.
Yeah, nope. But, like...
Which is kind of like admitting guilt.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, like, look...
I'm sorry, I relate too much to these old idiots.
Yeah.
This is banned.
You only censor shit you're afraid of, right? I mean, like, yeah.
This one's a bit silly. I like it even without it being an allegory, because I don't even think it's much of an allegory, but it's kind of a... It's a general satire about class, and that works for the Soviets, but it also works for any number of a generation that is kind of out of touch. And what worked for me for this being a comedy is that, and even during some more difficult scenes, not difficult in terms of the subject matter, difficulty in balancing the tone, they were always harmless because they were nothing but stupid. And it was always entertaining to watch the many extras who were at the ball, because even as, like, everything's going horribly on stage and whatnot, everyone's still having a good time because they're not actually important members of society. They dressed up for their own ball. People just went there to have a nice gathering. Right. So when this whole, like, large beauty pageant section is going on, and they keep basically almost kidnapping these young women to have them, like, practice their walk and whatnot and be judged, all of those women actresses were really kind of brilliant because they just very clearly didn't give a shit about them. It was something where they didn't exactly, from my perspective, feel threatened by them. They just felt annoyed. It's like having a grandpa tell a story that's like too long. Like, I'm just gonna go back out there and do whatever I want anyway.
That's what I got from them in that scene. But in the very next scene, when they follow through with the beauty pageant, it's just hard to watch straight up violence.
Well,
that was not portrayed in a funny or farcical way, at least in my opinion. It was too just brutal for what? For getting a beauty pageant for an old man who's like there was nothing selling it. Maybe they needed like a funny dumb soundtrack in the background, like one of those type of things.
I'd like to augment kind of what I said before. It's funny when you think about the situation that was occurring, that they were like planning the ball as it was happening, essentially, and preparing the beauty pageant like right before it needed to happen. But when you're watching it, it's not funny, haha. It's just kind of funny.
What the fuck is happening?
Strange.
Well, and I feel like when you say it like that, of course, like, the government satire does become obvious, right? I mean, it's all about these guys trying to act like they totally know what they're doing, and no one should question them because they totally know what they're doing. Fuck idea what they're doing. And, I mean, that's, like, that makes more sense. But I agree, like, it's not funny, haha. I
chuckled throughout. Am I alone in that?
I didn't think it was funny.
It was maybe a little. It was too. It was more like every time there was a joke, I was like, I can see how that is a joke.
Exactly.
That is a joke you made
the entire film,
and often it is a decently well written joke. Yes.
Okay. What about my favorite performance of my favorite character? Like, no one says anyone's name, so I feel better about not knowing anyone's names. But the dumb old fireman who was in charge of the raffle and just can't keep a hold of everyone stealing all this shit around him.
I mean, that one also is like straight communist allegory, right? Like that I got the first time through. Like the communist government says that they're able to hold all the wealth and it's all going to be okay, and they can't hold on to shit.
Like, I love that scene where he is just flustered when they kind of ask, like, I don't know, where's the ham? He goes, no, wait, I put the cheese plate down. And then no, there wasn't a ham.
No, there was a chocolate ball.
Yeah, the chocolate ball.
Yeah.
He goes, where's the cheese plate? Oh, God! And then just that, and then the only thing he ever found that was stolen was from his wife. And then they'll, like, have
the head cheese.
Out of guilt, and he has a heart attack trying to turn it back in. And everyone kind of thinks he's dumb for doing that. In fact, that he, like, knocks over the ladder. The only person he accuses of stealing it is the guy who's holding the biggest ladder in the world, who's not facing the table.
Yep.
Honestly, you talking about it is more funny than watching it.
Yeah.
Right, I agree.
Guys, I'm more talented than Milos Forman. We all know
That's
that.
what we've learned. That's what we've learned.
But he is the most believable character and laughable character. Everyone else is believable, but not laughable. It just sold it short. I was on the cusp of giggling here and there, but it never just kind of... It never made it. It never did it. I
wanted so badly to laugh at this movie. I really, really did.
Everything made sense, but it just didn't cut it.
What about the scene where they leave the ball only for one sequence, and it's because an actual fire is happening, and the movie sets it up so wonderfully because you think this is the great time to watch the firemen in their element. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you know what? They may suck at meeting planning, but they know how to put out a fire. Nope. The fire truck's stuck in the snow, and all they're doing is just like throwing snow at the fire. The guy's house burns.
Yeah, the last scene where the guy just climbs into bed in the snow is like the best.
That's wonderful. I was even like even kind of earlier when his house is still burning, the wonderful argument of like bureaucracy and too many cooks in the kitchen when they can't decide where to put the man, because the man's like in his pajamas, and they keep saying like, he's cold. Put him closer to the fire. No, don't have him face the fire. That's his house being burned down. Having him decide where he should be, and like trying to stop him from watching his own house burn is so silly. I enjoyed that because I could see people make that kind of decision.
Well, that scene it pissed me off and didn't. So it was the only like serious scene that I could actually see like, oh shit, people are actually trying to do their job, put out a fire.
Yeah.
The entire crowd is there watching. Most of the time, they don't give a fuck about the firemen. They mock them, like, half the time. They steal their shit. And then, when they are helpless to put out this fire and they can't do anything, they see them shoveling. Why the hell don't you pick up a shovel and do something about it, you goddamn stupid town piece of shit?
Whoa.
None of them did jack shit for this, but they still feel great, I guess. And this is a volunteer fire brigade, by the way. They're not, like, officially the firemen. At least not from what I understood. What the hell? And then the old fireman, all he can do is say a prayer because he's been alive for 100 years and he's seen too many fires and too many people die. And this was actually a serious moment where the town didn't do shit and the fire brigade couldn't do their job and everyone's just sad. I liked it and I didn't like it. It didn't validate anyone for me, but it felt serious.
I think, to me, this is a story with no heroes, and it's, to me, I am able to kind of laugh at that, looking at the absurdity. It felt a bit like, I don't know, drier Looney Tunes in that situation of, like, look at this ridiculousness happen and enjoy it as an outsider. Like, I enjoyed the film not being emotionally attached to it. So, and I always kept, like, was on the edge from, like, wait, are these girls being, like, properly harassed? And, like, the more I keep watching the actresses, and and again, this could be a biased male perspective of that, I always felt that those women were okay. That these guys were pervy, but I never felt that they were, like, any, like, danger or anything like that, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Except when they were being dragged on the floor.
Yeah, that was a little...
I saw that as okay, I feel like a jerk for saying this in the context. Like, it seemed like a game. Because you had
I felt really uncomfortable.
I mean,
Like,
I think you were supposed to. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you were supposed to.
Yeah, because also, like, parents joined in, and the other people kind of threw each other in. Like, it became
Yeah.
a chaotic thing of
Yeah, because everyone oppresses women.
yes.
Even their parents.
Yup.
Especially at this time period.
Yup.
And in Czechoslovakia.
Yup.
I just had Sarah go get food.
How the hell do you deliver food in the old gods world?
There's a buzzer.
Oh,
We found the food buzzer while you were gone.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Alright, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's like hotel food, but, you know. Like
Hotel food can be good.
like a shitty hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
Like a-
really know
like
who
a-
makes it.
Like a fancy Days Inn.
Oh, like where they have that continental breakfast and you're like, sweet, but then like you try everything and it's all like not
like
as good
moist
as you
bagels.
expected it to. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have to, like, arrive, like, the second it opens, right, for that to be good.
Yeah, basically.
Lee, am I crazy about the women in this film?
I felt really uncomfortable with how they were treated for the most part. Like, I get they're supposed to be pervy old men, and they were pervy old men, but I definitely felt like I felt relieved in a weird way that I did not grow up at a time where my parents would drag me from whatever I was doing to force me into a beauty pageant that I had no interest in.
This is true.
So I was really happy about that. I have problems with foreign films that are comedies, because I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of jokes that are just lost in translation, and then there's a lot of cultural jokes that we just don't get. Like, an example I have for, like, vice versa, I saw a wonderful meme the other day, because I have lots of time for memes right now, that was, in a couple of days, it's gonna be, and then just a picture of ramen. And, like, so Justin Timberlake's hair in the 90s and early 2000s looked like ramen.
That's true.
It's gonna be May. It's gonna be me.
I like
There's
it.
lots of love.
Wow,
like, there's a lot of
that takes a lot of steps, but I get it.
exactly. There's a lot of layers to that joke there. If there was anything like that in this movie, there's no way we could have gotten it.
There.
So I feel like there were a couple of times that there were probably jokes that either just didn't translate, or we just missed, or I at least missed, because I don't know anything about Czechoslovakian culture.
Oh, the one thing I do know, and the one thing that I did get and I loved, was that they love their beer. So whenever they get a beer, they get basically a pitcher for themselves. And they're always drinking it. And they would always go back to it. That's the one thing I got. But yeah, everything else, I'm definitely missing something vital.
I never felt that I was lost, though. And one thing that I think I've learned since my first viewing of this, which was many years ago, was that I rewatched the film Ikaru, which is a masterpiece, which is a Japanese film. But in that movie, this isn't a spoiler for Ikaru, it's in the first 10 minutes, they discuss the element that if you have some sort of like fatal disease, doctors are allowed to lie to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so when I first saw the Fireman's Ball, I just assumed that was part of the farce, not knowing that like, oh wait,
that's
it still is part of the farce. What's going on here? But like, it's also like that's a thing that can happen.
That's a crazy cross-cultural thing, actually, from around the, like we stopped doing that like not that long ago. Like our understanding of terminal patients' rights,
so like nothing like really like stood out that I felt like okay, I'm missing something. Like it really felt to me like a almost universal look at class, incompetency, generation.
Incompetency isn't a word, but it would be a
fits
word.
In an incompetent manner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just enjoy mocking authority no matter where the venue. So
I never took them as authoritative though, because they were too stupid.
But it was their ball. I mean, they had the outfits.
It was the town's ball.
The movie is literally called Fireman's Ball.
Yeah, and they fucked it up, so it wasn't really theirs. It was a party for everyone else except for them.
Is that how that works?
I don't think so.
I think it worked for the people. They walked away with all the gifts.
I'm just imagining Pedro at a birthday party and someone's having an okay time at their party and you go, it's my party now.
Right.
I'm having a great time. You blow out the cake.
So I actually, what you said, that the people walked away with the gifts, I actually think most of the fire brigade walked away with the gifts.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very much think so.
I think they definitely took some, but we know that his wife took one. He said, everyone's doing it, you idiot. And then leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One line that I really, that really stuck out for me was the old guy that you talked about before, Austin, that was, I think the current chairman of the Fireman's Ball. Mm-hmm. He said that people are smart. It was like when the women were running to the bathroom, I think. He was like, no, you're wrong. People are smart. And there was, I think, I don't know, there's just like my kind of belief is that a person is smart, people are dumb. Yeah. So that really stuck out to me as maybe like the fatal flaw of. Was that it?
I knew I heard
bet
that.
It was. Yeah.
I think it's from something else.
Yeah.
I think it's from something else first, but that is definitely a great delivery.
I mean, that's probably where I first heard it. Men in Black.
Yeah.
Honestly.
He said the person.
Sorry.
People are dumb, stupid, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
This film did come out before Men in Black, and they also did.
Well, then it was obviously influence.
Fireman's Ball was a major.
Everyone was dressed up in black suits. Black suits and Men in Black.
I feel like we should henge this, maybe.
Yeah.
Was the talking pug in both movies?
True.
Probably.
Yeah.
It died in the fire.
Oh, no. Okay, guys.
All right, it's time for hinges. I'm gonna set a bar that no one else will get towards. 4 hinges.
I don't need to watch it again. I didn't like it very much. 2.7.
I'm in the same boat, but I liked thinking about it later and learning about it, so I'm going to say 3.
I'm basically the same boat as Adam, so I'm going to give it the Pedro's version, which is 3.4.
He did the adjustments in his head.
Of course. Yeah, adjust.
All right,
2.
Yep.
There you go.
It was boring.
All right, that is The Fireman's Ball by Milos Forman. And it is out of printer criterion, but I got it from the library.
You don't say.
That my copy, man. It's not that crazy.
No, that is out of print.
I stole it.
What's happening?
So what happens when you're alone in the realm of the old gods?
Did we listen to an album?
We just have group sex.
Gross.
Lee, what do we hear this week?
We listened to Group Sex by the Circle Jerks.
Beverly Hills, Century City, everything's so nice and pretty. All the people look the same. Don't they know they're so damn lame? There she goes.
This was their debut album. It came out in 1980. It's a punk album.
I fucked up as we try to prep for 2 episodes in a row. My brain is only so big. It's not very big. I forgot to listen to this album, which I have been told is 15 minutes long.
It's 15 minutes long. It is by far our shortest album
I
so
had
far.
to watch a season and a half of Red Shoe Diaries.
Well, okay, did you have to?
Yes, because I had to get to the cowboy episode.
I listened to a bit of it, like a little bit of songs here and there.
I feel like if you listen to the first 5 minutes of this album, you kind of get the gist.
That's kind of how I felt. I did, however, like the little bit that I listened to, I wanted to listen to more, honestly. Like the very first few seconds, I was like, oh Jesus, this another English punk album. But it actually
They're actually American.
Wow.
I know.
Lee, I know you're near us right now, but Adam has a shocked face.
Yeah, color me surprised.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it was I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from that. It was they I think they did some interesting things within the punk genre.
I agree. So, from what I have gathered, the 90s or the 80s, late 70s, early 80s California punk scene could be made into a soap opera, and I would watch the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So the lead singer for the Circle Jerks was originally a founding member of the punk band Black Flag, which many people have probably heard of, that were super popular. He left, the lead singer, whose name is... I've lost it so far. Anyway, he left the band to start his own band, which is the Circle Jerks, and then he later left the Circle Jerks to go play with Bad Religion, which is another punk band, and it's crazy. Like, I got sucked down a Wikipedia hole just reading about all of the drama between all of these different bands, because some of the songs from this album were previously recorded with Black Flag, but the lead singer, Greg Hetson, just kind of stole it and didn't do anything else, didn't ask for permission, so I'm sure there's some copyright issues there that nobody's really resolved, which should be super fun sometime. And then, yeah, he just kind of stole some songs. He stole some lyrics from other people. The one song I really enjoyed, Live Fast, Die Young, was previously recorded with Black Flag, with a completely different, set of lyrics. He just kind of stole the music to it, I think. So, yeah. Seriously, I want a Netflix short series of the drama of the late 70s, early 80s California punk scene. I think it would be amazing.
That sounds great.
They'll probably make it. They have a lot of TV shows.
I hope so, because it would be a lot of fun. There's a lot of shit going on, a lot of drugs happening, probably a lot of sex, I would only assume. Lots of shit.
Wait, do you know about the demise of human civilization? The end of human civilization?
Demise of Western civilization?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Circle Jerks were actually featured in that documentary movie thing.
I saw that movie, and it was actually an awesome movie. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not. So
there are 3 of them. The first one's the punk scene, the second one's the metal scene, the third one I haven't seen yet. But I believe the first 2 are on Filmstruck. It's this awesome female director who went on to also make Wayne's World because they wanted that authentic feel to a music director. It's pretty awesome. You should definitely watch it. I think you'll love it.
I imagine I would, and it's been on my to-watch list forever, so... But yeah, it's definitely hardcore punk. There is a time in my life where I really, 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 really would have loved this album. I did enjoy it. It was exactly what I expected. It didn't blow me out of the water. It'd be a great, pump-up album. Pump yourself up to go kick ass or something.
There was kind of, for me, a very reckless abandon about, how they played and how they sang. And just that there were some songs that were 40 seconds long. Is that right? Yeah.
There's the first one is 26 seconds. There's one that's 41 seconds. One that's 35 seconds. Yeah. There's no song on the album that's longer than a minute and a half.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's just like get in, get out, say what you want to say.
Which I can appreciate, because it didn't fuck around with a pointless chorus repeated over and over again, which,
Right.
Can get tedious and boring. So it's just like, here's what our song is, done. Next one, let's move it on.
Yeah, and I think that in itself is a good reason to listen to this album, just because it's like so concise and finite.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good, fun album. I think I would recommend it to pretty much anybody if they're looking for a good, high-energy album.
I managed to listen to 69 love songs.
You couldn't listen to a 15-minute
I missed
album.
a 15-minute punk song with 20 seconds.
Yep.
You know what? We'll take a quick break between our recording sessions. I'll listen to it for the next episode. I apologize, dear listeners. I'm sorry.
All right.
But do you guys have any further thoughts on it?
No, I think it's really great. I will say that while it sounds kind of chaotic, the musicians were actually really talented. The guitarist has a background in like kind of not classical guitar, but like he does jazz guitar. And then the drummer as well was really into jazz drumming, which is a very technical skill that kind of blows you out of your mind when you listen to a really, really good one. So these guys had talent. These guys knew what they were doing. They just kind of did this with their talent, which is interesting.
I respect that. Lee, what about Hinges, though?
I'll give it a 4. It was a fun album.
I listened to like 15% of it, so I'm not gonna.
I thought you said you heard 5 minutes of it. That's 30%.
I wouldn't say 5 minutes. I wouldn't say that now.
You want to come back next week?
We'll come back next week. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'll listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my recommendation. So
It's 15
I'm gonna
minutes.
listen to it.
Yes. We'll sit together and listen to it between
Great.
recording sessions.
Silently.
Yeah. Not
Without
them,
talking.
not them.
You'll corrupt the review if you talk to each other.
Yes.
Thought you said you got the gist, you asshole.
I got the gist. It's not enough to give a number to it.
Okay, so no, we do proper reviews here. We don't skip out on stuff. Sarah, what's the food this week?
It's a weird mollusk thing, clam that comes from the south of France, where I have never been because I have no money. So I haven't eaten it, and neither have any of you.
Oh.
Alright, good segment. All right. Pedro, what did you listen to this week?
Wondrous Stories by Yes.
I didn't hear this one.
He spoke of lands not far, for lands they were in his mind. Of fusion captured high, where reason captured his time. In no time at all, he took me to the gate. In haste, I quickly checked the time. If I was late, I had to leave to hear your wondrous stories. I had to hear your wondrous stories. La la.
Yeah, so the song is Wondrous Stories by Yes. It was released in 1977. This is our second Yes song.
And we had
First one dating way back to episode 6, but not really.
Yeah,
because
we did
episode
bonus
6, I was doing classical music back then
right.
until the goddamn intern and Bethany and all those other fuckers.
So it's in one of our bonus episodes?
Yes.
It was.
Ah.
But also, we've done
We've
a
also
yes
album, yeah.
Yes, we
Episode
have.
9.
Yep.
Wait, what was the song?
So we did the album, and then I
Which
got
had
kicked
this
off of
song
classical
on it,
music,
right?
and then we went back and retroactively did episode 6, which was number 281.
What was the song?
Oh, it was Sweetness.
Oh, okay.
No, you want to know what number it was in the book, right?
No.
It came out in
No.
1969. I gave it 4.25 henges.
God.
You don't remember still? Anyway, this song came out in 77, I think I already said. It was part of the album Going for the One, which the album did do. The album charted number 1 in UK, which is pretty cool.
Was this on the album we heard?
No.
Okay.
The album that we listened to by Yes was Fragile.
You know, I'm mixing. Yes songs sound a little bit like some.
Well,
No,
Yeah, a little.
they totally do.
apparently this is like the poppier, more accessible, appeal to the masses song from the album Going for the One that they put out. The other ones aren't quite the same. I guess. I didn't listen to the album. I just listened to this one song. The song did well, too. It hit number 7 UK. The album hit number 8 US. Woo! UK facts from band thing. Anyway, the song is good. I like it.
Oh, that's good too, but poppy is not the first word I would think of.
Right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would say accessible. That works against some other songs that's canon, but
It's like a weird, like, prog rock, pop, something else that I'm missing melange.
it reminded me very much of a certain trend in the Beatles. I can't really like the exact time. Like, I wish I was more of a Beatle, like knowing like their albums and their ears much. Like it hit the elongated song a little more.
Yeah, I feel you. For me, it reminds me more of, things like Pink Floyd with, like, the very synth-heavy, just turn the reverb all the way up. It's, I don't know, but very full-sounding, tons of instruments everywhere, but I really liked it. It started, like, with on a very positive note, a very, like, major tone. And then, like, it threw out those funky, minor, semi-minor bits into it that it, like, transitioned to that only a song like this can do when it has so much going on with it and so many layers that it can just, like, sort of morph into that different sort of tone. And whenever a song does that well, I really like it because it adds a very real melancholy that doesn't kill the positiveness from beforehand, but almost adds to it because it makes all the positive sounding, all the major sounding bits worth more almost. And it also makes the highs and lows higher and lower, if that makes sense. And I don't know, his voice was great. His hair was great.
He's the best hair. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The lyrics, since I know you want to talk about them, are also really good, I think. They rhyme the word river with forgiver, which I think is fun. But yeah, it's like a cool sort of trippy, hippie thing.
I read the lyrics of this one, actually, because I did it on Amazon Music, and they actually had a thing with lyrics that play along with you. And
if it hadn't been for that, you would not have read the lyrics.
Well, I mean, I may have. Sort of a toss-up. But
Probably not.
Probably not.
Semi-religious aspect to them,
Yeah,
right? Like
like a
your
little-
forgiver, that sort of thing.
I don't know if I'd
ascending to
call it
heaven.
religious or trippy.
Both?
Wait, why are those separate?
They're not separate.
They're not mutually
I mean, let me put it this way.
exclusive.
It's not Judeo-Christian religious. It's trippy.
Forgiveness is a very big thing, and I think
Well, yeah, but love laid me down by a river. Drifting I turned down upstream, bound for my forgiver. I don't know. It's trippy. I like it, though.
Love laid me down my river. That seems like it would be in Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like I'm an expert on Yes by now, after having listened to one song, 2 songs, and a full album. And this didn't really strike me as a Yes song, because,
I thought so as well.
yeah, it was like,
Oh, I have to disagree, but I will let Adam finish his thought.
if I just feel like Yes is more experimental than what this song is giving me. I really enjoyed it. Like, I liked it a lot. And I think, actually, when I was listening to this song, I was like, oh yeah, Yes is a band that I do like. I had that kind of revelation. But still, it doesn't really... It like, if I were to say, this is the band Yes, this is far from... the songs that I would give to someone. Like Roundabout would probably be the first one.
So if you were a fan of Yes, this song, you'd be like, oh, this is for all my friends who don't like Yes. Maybe they'll like it.
Maybe like an introduction, yeah. That's kind of what you were saying before.
Alright.
Yeah.
Appealing to the masses?
Yeah.
There's a different song on the album that I guess true aficionados prefer. I'm not sure what that is.
Lee, your rebuke.
my counterpoint, I listened to this song, I started listening to it, and in the intro I was like, oh, this song, I really like this song. And then it got to the chorus, I was like, okay, well maybe it's not this song. So I finished listening to it, and then clicked on the next recommended video by Yes, and I was like, maybe it's this song that I know and I really like and I appreciate. Nope, wasn't that one. So I clicked on the third one, still wasn't the same Yes song that I was thinking of when I heard this song originally, because they all sound so similar, and I can't, because it's Yes, and I don't have, like, necessarily normal song titles, I don't know what song it is I'm thinking of.
Have you heard Awaken by Yes?
Possibly.
Well, apparently that's the song on this album, going for the one that was their alternative masterwork, quote-unquote.
Well, no, this one, the one that I'm thinking of, sounded a lot like Wondrous, what's this one? Wondrous Stories. Sounded a lot like it at first, and then...
this one?
Kind of, I don't know. I think it's a very Yes song. It's a very generic Yes song, but I think it's a Yes song.
I can't remember Sweetness at all. I know I liked it, but I don't remember anything about it.
I remember us saying...
261.
Yeah.
Well, I remember us saying all the time that it was like, it's very sweet. It's a very sweet song.
I think you're right.
We're the worst.
I know. Well, we were so young back
This was over a year ago, guys.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. Anyone else?
It's okay.
I liked it.
Cool.
Henges?
Yeah.
4.5. Henges.
Wow. That's fine. I'll have a 3.7.
Actually, 3.7.
That's exactly what I was thinking, too.
That's so weird.
3.7.
3.5.
Son of a bitch.
Alright.
Alright, that is Wondrous Stories by Yes. Take a listen. You know who should listen to that song?
Who?
Children.
Anyone, I don't really care. Hey, what book do we read?
The Family from One End Street by Eve Garnett.
Wait for the clip.
I was looking for a clip on YouTube, but
How'd that go?
I think there is one. I might play it.
I guess you'll find out,
Yeah,
dear
we'll see. I
listeners.
don't know.
Book Summary of Family from One End Street by Eve Garnett. This is the story of everyday life in the big, happy Ruggles family who live in the small town of Otwell.
So it's a book that is...
Cut right to the drama.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go for it.
Let's get deep.
Is this like a small children's book?
No, this is a chapter book.
Okay.
It's more for, I would say, I would have read this at 9 years old.
Right around the Redwall type?
No.
No, like, honestly, second grade.
Yeah?
I'd say second grade.
Was I 9 in second grade?
No.
No.
That's like 4th, 5th.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I
first...
would say second grade. This
Yeah.
is my average recommend.
Yeah, it's like fun adventure, episodic adventures surrounding this one family, like a lower class family in Great Britain.
I just agree with two of the words you said.
Go on.
Fun and adventure.
Oh. They literally say they're going on adventures in one of the chapters.
And I literally said it out to my Kindle. No. Okay, so this is another one of the Gee Whiz books we've read, right?
Sure. Yes.
Like when we had the Pony Club against the Nazis,
Yeah.
or other bullshit we've read.
Yes.
It's in that where it's
Amazon Adventure.
Amazon. You know, that one had a little bit more edge to it, but like still pretty like whatever.
Okay, make your point.
I was trying to figure out like why it's not just an age thing. Yes, this is a book that came out like in the 30s, but kids were still kids then. We were there, hazy memories, but still, there's a thing going on here where I think the books were written for kids differently. And I really got it from this book because, to me, this book always felt like it was being told from an adult in the story. It always felt like all of their little adventures and tasks were pandering and very much a isn't that cute kind of thing. Like they would only say cute dialogue that they don't know is cute, but adults know are cute. It's never a story written for children to be excited and wanting to play as these characters. It was a warm thing of like, look at this family. when you're not that age. And I realized those books are bullshit.
That's really interesting.
That's what I kind of got from this book.
Yeah.
And is it fair to put it all on this book? No. That's what I thought about during this book. Because even when they pandered to me and had a whole chapter based around a guy wanting to go to a movie theater, I still was not interested in the stakes of it because the book, I think, never believes the stakes are real. Especially for any female story. Which is weird since it's a female author.
Yeah. This family has seven children. 3 of them are female.
I meant to write down the kids' names, and I don't care.
Yeah, there's.
They all talk the same. It doesn't matter. You can't even the ebook that I got had a quiz about them at the back, and the way they could do it was who has hair like this. I'm like, you got nothing about who these kids are.
Yeah, I think it's 2 older girls and then twins, and then another girl and another boy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was the most boring thing I've ever said.
We're summarizing this book. It's going to happen.
So, yeah, I enjoyed this more than probably I expected to, because it's about a family and what they do. There's not a through line plot, which I'm a fan of, if no one has guessed yet. But it's, I don't know. I think that in the time there weren't many books about a lower class family struggling to make ends meet, and they one of the children had to open doors for people in the hopes that they would give them tips for. That was the movie one, right?
Which was my favorite story because of course it was. As a kid when I go to the movies.
Yeah,
and that one actually had the one I think enjoyable piece of irony to it, which was he kept trying to get enough half pennies to get 4 pennies to go see the new Mickey Mouse short. Mm-hmm. But someone thought he was homeless and gave him food, and he didn't know what to do with that because he can't trade that properly for pennies.
Right.
I that actually felt like a good obstacle in his thing, as opposed to I want to join a club, or I'm worried I won't get the thing turned in on time, or what will I wear to the picture? These things, in the right context, those can be really exciting, awesome stories. There are so many things we reviewed on this podcast that celebrate the mundane and find the beauty in it. But to me, this book always had distance to it, where it is, it's about wasn't that a sweeter time? Not putting you in that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I still I think that I enjoyed most the one where one of the twins, when they joined the gang, when he stowed away on that ship, because that felt like higher stakes. He was a stranger in a strange land.
Yes.
But yeah, man, that was a really good point that you made. It's kind of made me rethink the whole book.
I just ruined the book for you. This thing was 300 pages on the Kindle, and I ruined this for you.
Not really. Sort of. So, I have I looked into this on Wikipedia. This won a Carnegie Award when it was published. Over Carnegie?
Carnegie. It's Carnegie Hall. It's so-and-so Carnegie. It's different pronunciations.
I mean, it's the same family. I just think I say Carnegie because that's how PBS used to say it when they quoted the Carnegie Foundation.
Yeah, I trust PBS and NPR.
But Carnegie is also correct, in other contexts.
Carnegie Hall?
Because it's definitely not Carnegie Mellon. It's Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah, it's Carnegie Mellon, Carnegie Hall.
Anyway,
I've heard them as Carnegie Libraries. So
yes, that's what I'm thinking because that's what sponsors part of PBS.
Right, and that was the award. It was from the library something, and it won over The Hobbit.
It did.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Which was bullshit.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Well, The Hobbit is bullshit.
Well,
what?
No.
I stand by it.
Come find me. We will fight.
No, it's on the list.
Are those for the same age?
Same year.
I think so.
I
think so.
I would say maybe, third, fourth grade for The Hobbit.
Yeah, that's
this
when I
one's
first
this
read
is
it.
much easier to read, easier sentences, but a second grader can read The Hobbit if they want to. I mean, challenge themselves. But did you keep reading more about who this author is?
A little bit. She illustrated a recent publication of Robert Louis Stevenson's A Child's Garden of Verses.
The last book we reviewed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think I read her, the book of her illustrations.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Of course, I half-ass everything.
I hoped it would be, because that's the last book we reviewed and they connected. Sure, we had one we couldn't find last week, but...
it could have been. It was the 1948 publication, I think.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Whatever. Anyhow, this book had a sequel. Apparently the sequel was, missing for a while. One of the sequels was, missing in a fire, and then it was, recovered.
Weird.
And I don't want to read them.
Well,
yeah, no, it doesn't make me want to read it. The writing style or...
No, nothing about the style was no. The characters, too many characters for too little personality.
Yeah.
It hurt. So, what would you give it henge-wise?
2.8.
2. And that is The Family on One End Street. I did like that they were on number 1 End Street. Because the street's called One End Street at number 1. That amused me.
I'm going to do this transition for you. You know what this family should definitely not watch together?
Gotham.
Terminator.
What?
Red Shoe Diaries.
I had gone to him with my grief, and he comforted me. We stepped over the line. We broke the rules. For the next 3 months, I buried myself in my work, hoping to forget him, but praying that I'd see him again. That fate would deal me a second hand. The truth is, with Michael, I finally realized I was ready to accept the compromises of a relationship, face the dangers. Then one day, out of the blue, just when I'd given up hope, he called me at work. He said he wanted to start up again exactly where we'd left off. Only this time with no limits, no rules. The next move was mine.
Boy, have I missed you. Miss you a lot.
Ditto.
There you have it, Stella.
This is episode 74 of the show. And since then, I have watched, I would say, probably about 70 different TV shows. I had to skip a couple because they were not in English. And some of them I reviewed
That'll happen,
regardless. Like a German sitcom. Watched a lot of that in German. But I've made the comments now a couple of times that there might not be 1,001 TV shows that you must see before you die.
They're clearly not.
This sacred book that determines our fate may be flawed and in its presentation. And we have noted this for such terrible shows that we've talked about in the past. This,
however...
well, look, this is not at the level of shows like the 4400 that maybe just, claw my eyes out. This just is... not a TV show. This is Red Shoe Diaries. This is a show that ran for 5 seasons on Showtime. This was made by a guy named Zalman King, who started to work on the stories a lot, and it is about this guy named Jake, who is played by David Duchovny pre-X-Files. And he has a ad in the paper that is supposed to help him out emotionally. And every episode, you have someone send him basically a full-length manuscript to answer his questions about love, betrayal, sadness, sex. It's mostly sex.
And then he reads them to his dog.
Yeah, every episode is him reading it to his dog, Stella.
weird.
And the way he talks to Stella is exactly the way he says Scully. Scully. Because he's like, so Stella, what do you think about this? Like, it's just...
Yeah, it's great.
One after the other.
I mean, not
Stella
really,
Gibson?
but it's a thing.
Trying to find now the actual wording of the thing. I can't find it. But anyway,
Stop right there.
the ad is nothing. And you see in the opening credits what the ad is. And it says, have you ever betrayed someone? Have you ever, like, had love and lost it? Have you ever, I don't know, been sad? I'm looking for answers by someone who lost a once-in-a-lifetime love. Send your diaries to Red Shoes. That's it. That's the ad. Now, I should have warned the audience out there, especially for all the female listeners, because those words must obviously compel you to write a 5,000-word thing to a stranger.
Yeah, like I'm already doing it as we speak.
That is mostly smut.
But let's be clear, really bad smut. Like,
that's what makes it incredible viewing, because it's not a good show.
Not the word I would use.
There is a good show out there that can look at the way sex is integrated into different relationships from different perspectives and what it means to people at different moments in their lives. This is not that. And I've seen 15 episodes of this show, and it's the same goddamn show every episode. And every sex scene is filmed exactly the same way. And it's hysterical. It's hysterical, and then at worst, it's boring. It's never good.
Look, I took like 2 classes on like sex and society in college, so I feel qualified to talk about this.
Wait, were those the 2 separate classes?
What?
You took one class on
No,
sex,
I
one
took,
class
like-
on society?
No, I took one called Deviant Behavior and one called Sex and Ethics, both of which were excellent. Anyway, this is basically like straight male culture trying to deal with the onset of kink and sexual freedom, still being totally uncomfortable with it, but trying to be like the cool guy at the party who like takes the cigarette and pretends to smoke it and then passes it on hoping no one will notice. Like, it's all like not sexy domination fantasies that don't make sense and as a result are hella rapey. Like, it's like a lot of leather and high heels, but not a lot of but no one talks to each other, and they never they show sex or sex-like things, but never have I seen a show where I am so sure that no one ever has intercourse. Like, that it's all fake, even when, they're showing 2 people going at it. I'm like, no, that is not how that goes. It's fascinating in how terrible it is, and I hope someone has written a very interesting sociology paper about it, which I would rather read than watch this damn show.
But it's also so much fun to watch.
No!
Because it's bad. I mean, it's not a good show.
I can't even...
But this is finally the show that has hit the exact perfect mark of, wonderfully bad. Because other shows that made me cringe... The last episode I watched was episode 3 of season 2, which was called Kidnap, which had a power broker who was sort of kidnapped by a cowboy in modern times. He dressed as a cowboy. Yeah. Because they were in the middle of robbing a bank. He found her beautiful and said, "Do you want to come with us?" And she kind of says, "Sure." And they're all cowboys. One of them is Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's a really unpleasant part of this.
Matt
if you're
LeBlanc,
a Friends fan.
Matt LeBlanc's in 2 episodes. So
yeah,
far.
It's not okay.
Same acting quality, same performance both times. One in a cowboy suit. They are hanging out on the range, and they don't talk about real stuff. They're playing poker, and the poker game makes no sense whatsoever. And then she decides to bring up the gamble that if she wins this hand, they turn themselves in and probably get 5 years in prison. And if she loses, she'll marry him for 5 years. But she's already in love with him, so she marries him for 5 years. Then, like, they help, like, rob another bank. And Matt LeBlanc is, like, singing Row, Row, Row the Boat to all the hostages. And he gets really into it. And then, like, they all start singing it in a round. And it's a lot of fun. And they rob the bank. That's most of the episode. And then they kind of have sex at the end. They kind of forgot about doing that part. That is... And all of it is in the stupid, like, glossy filter with a saxophone playing the entire episode.
Yeah, the whole time.
With typically some of the worst voiceover you'll ever hear. And it's fantastic. I mean, there's an episode that was a whole faxing montage for most of the episode where this girl fell in love with this guy who was in a building next to her. It's the guy who was the mummy from The Mummy. And they took turns fax to their sexy things like, do you want to play a dare? And he plays back, yes. This is all in real time, though. So you see her write it for a Sharpie, hit the buttons on the fax machine, it go through, him wait for it, him reads it, he replies back. Then it's like, take off your shirt. And he goes, oh, man, I didn't see this coming. Then he takes off his shirt. And then, like, she has horrible voiceover. That's a lot of the show. It's... Ali Sheedy from The Breakfast Club is in an episode. And doesn't get to do much, doesn't have sex, but does have the amazing scene where she... where her husband is apologizing, sort of, for having sex with the wrong woman.
Which one is she?
She's the freak.
Okay. Dandruff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because this woman was wearing her wig, and so he thought it was her, and so he was showing her the tape of them having sex, and saying, like, look the way I'm having sex with her. I clearly thought it was you. That seems pretty insane. It's just so, like... It's as if your 38-year-old father just discovered what sex was, and is like still like, and he's Michael Douglas from like Disclosure.
Yes.
And then he wrote porn.
Yeah, it's
and then he wrote it thinking, I'm going to win an Emmy.
the whole thing. It feels like you're watching porn with your mom when your mom isn't there. Like, it's awkward to watch in a
that's
way.
The worst
I
thing.
can't.
Why did you say that?
It is the worst, most awkward feeling. It's awful. Never watch this show.
No, I'm going to watch every episode. This is like...
What is wrong with you?
It's genuinely... It's not titillating. It's just the most sincerely, like, wonderfully bad show that, like, deserved to be, like, MST3K'd. It is...
No one watched this.
Oh my God. There's this one episode where she falls in love with this guy. They both drive cars fast, but they aren't driving cars fast at all in the show. It looked them driving in a parking lot, but they keep saying it's fast. And she keeps thinking that he might be a figment of her imagination. And half of the dialogue in the show is he real, or did I make him up? Is he real, or did I make him up? Turns to the camera. Is he real, or did I make him up? I don't know. I don't... he's clearly real, because this... The fuck you talking about? No. There's an episode where a bounty hunter almost doesn't turn a guy in because she fell in love with him, I guess.
Yeah, that was a weird one that made no sense.
No, none of them make it.
None of them make any goddamn sense.
It's wonderfully bad. Should not be on the list. Not actually a good show, but holy fuck, it's fun to watch.
No,
because it's so silly and never sexy.
How do you henge this, Austin?
It's a 3.2.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
One. Don't watch it. One.
That's fair. Like,
how much did you watch, Sarah?
She has 2 or 3 episodes.
3 or 4. Definitely 3.
You saw the one where the cop was mad that the guy at the gym didn't notice her for 2 years.
Yeah.
So she
the cop who
pulled him over and then tied him up.
Yeah, there's that one. I watched the one with the car where they drive really fast.
No, that's a different one.
No, the different one where they fight and it's supposed to be hot that they fight. And then I watched the one with the bounty hunter.
Yeah. The bounty hunter who just, he's all about making pies.
Yeah, I can't...
Also, the bounty hunter for a guy who didn't commit a crime.
Yeah,
they
doesn't...
They don't know how anything works.
If it had plot, it wouldn't be a 1, but it doesn't. Guys, it's so bad.
No, honestly, if it had plot, it would probably be a 1 for me. Like, they don't know how bounty hunters work, and they
really don't.
She was hired for $30,000 to bring this guy in who has not been charged for a civil crime that the person who hired her dropped when they saw him.
It's weird.
I don't know
and bad.
what any of that meant. What bound? It's great. So anyway, that is Red Shoe Diaries. It's the show that if you're at a convention, probably don't bring up to David Duchovny. Who, by the way, in season 2, he definitely talked to his agent. His wardrobe increased by a lot.
Oh god!
He was a normal guy in a raincoat talking to his dog, and now he's in tailored suits and looking like. Also, his performance is bad because that's be a broken guy who needs letters to help him learn about love. He plays it as cool and sexy every episode, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why he's now had an ad in the paper for 5 years straight. Anywho, Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah.
That was a show that I reviewed, and I'll keep watching.
No, you don't.
And I'm going to keep watching
No.
it with Sarah.
I'm often near you. I don't want it to be real that you watch it anymore.
3.5 more seasons.
You know.
How much more Matt LeBlanc will there be?
I don't
Oh,
know.
tell us.
I will.
Yes.
So, that's the end of the episode.
Did we do it?
Woohoo!
Episode 74.
And we already know what our next number is, so I guess we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll
Take
just
a-
kind of
take a little break, right?
Say goodbye, and then we'll take a break from recording, and then record the next episode, because we already watched the shit.
sure.
But then, shit.
Well, that's interesting.
You
That's
guys,
new.
you guys fucking hear that?
What was that?
What?
We haven't heard a fucking noise here fucking forever.
You're surrounded!
Hey, look, it's that cockroach I mentioned a couple episodes back.
You didn't mention that it was 10 feet tall and terrifying.
Yeah, that person knew.
Austin, when you found that room of, Ninja Turtle ooze, did you, lock the door or contain the ooze at all?
No.
Okay, and Pedro, when you had that portal gun
Yep.
that kept falling through its own portal, did you ever swat it away or just
Hell
leave
no. Nope. It's going still.
it?
Probably.
Okay, great. Carry on. You're still surrounded.
There's one of you.
Portal gun.
Oh shit! Who did
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Because you can go through that side to that side.
I'm gonna kill you all.
Cool!
Wait, but I want to watch more movies.
Oh, I mean
Oh, I don't want to watch more movies.
Wait, this is the whole point.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not gonna kill you all.
Oh.
Sweet. I'll just do what Bethany did to the old gods. I'm gonna gas ya. I'm gonna torture ya. And then I'm gonna eat part of ya. Then I'll throw you all onto another planet.
What planet?
We've been searching this damn place for months, and we haven't seen any sort of gas-type contraption. What are you talking about?
Bethany set it up. It's voice automated. I saw her do it, and now I can say it myself. Gimme, Gotham Season 4!
Oh, yeah!
Fucking gas
Get out of here!
I can't smoke the
New
gas.
door.
I can't
You guys, look at this door. It says, let's go in here. It says 1984.
Oh my god, that's a great number. You know why?
Oh my god, shut the fuck up and open the door!
Oh, fuck. Fell through the goddamn portal.
Austin!
I see it in my legs. Getting sleepy. Gas is definitely here now. Still hurts. Cockroach, eat my legs. Save yourselves and me. Save all of us. Don't not save me. Really need saving. Oh boy.
What did you say?
I heard save yourselves.
Quick, everybody to the door!
Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of dicking around, we're to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. And for the record, this is cassette number 75.
Wait, what the fuck?